Welcome back to another episode of UFC Underworld Fight Club. Today we'll be having a little talk about a beautiful love story that I don't even know if anyone has recognized for what it is. And it's truly a tale to be told, so if nobody else is telling it, I'll be the one to do it. Let's begin. Alexander Volkanovski. He's on a tear, or at least he was at the time, and currently you could say that he still is, being that he just won his championship back and he's currently the sitting champion at featherweight. But back at this time, Alexander Volkanovski got the crazy idea that, he's kicked everybody's ass here at featherweight. He's beaten everybody. Korean Zombie, Max Holloway 3 times, and so many others. I mean, his fight with Brian Ortega, how could anybody ever forget that? He feels like it's time for him to step up the competition for himself, since the UFC apparently can't get it done. So he decides that he's gonna make his way on up 155 and make a run for the lightweight championship. Problem is, Islam Makhachev is the champion at 155. So Islam accepts the challenge. Nobody really believes that Volkanovski really stands a chance. Some people believe, I would say it was like 30-70. People just thought Islam was just gonna go right through him with his wrestling. But that is not what happened. I don't know what happened. To this day, all I know is what I saw. And what I saw was Alexander Volkanovski get the better of Islam Makhachev as far as damage is concerned. Just from what it looks like, or what it appeared to have been at the time, was that he dropped him in the 5th round and he finished on top, pounding Islam with the ground and pound, and it just was not a good look. But the truth is that overall, Alex lost because he got controlled for too much time in the fight. He never really, and Islam hit him like pretty good. I mean, Islam got him back in the striking. But I would have to give Alex Volkanovski the edge when you just look at who got the better of who in most of those exchanges, if not all of them. But Islam kind of held his weight for a little while, but then he could not maintain the pacing that Volkanovski was putting on him as far as with the stand-up. He would throw back a little bit, but he would shoot, and he got those takedowns, and that's why he won on control time. But it just wasn't a good look for Islam, is basically what the takeaway for everyone was after they saw this. And that's the reason why it was ultimately ran back. But after Alex got his praise, he ended up taking that fight again. And it was on short notice because I believe the person who was supposed to fight Islam had to pull out for some reason, and I should find out who that was. I may just put his name in the video or show a picture of him, because I don't want to do that now. I want to continue telling you this story, because it gets better, trust me. So, Alex ends up taking the rematch on short notice. He's a replacement for an opponent of Islam's that had fallen out. Kudos to Islam, because he never pulls out of a freaking fight. He never has, and he's the man for that. Not giving shade to whoever did, but let's continue. Alex takes the fight, he gets head kicked, knocked out, and it changes everything. It just puts everything on a different, because we all thought that Volkanovski would probably lose again, but it wouldn't be like that. No one thought that would happen, and I believe it was the 2nd round, if not the 1st. But he knocks him out with the head kick, and it just sucks. I hated to see Volk go down, I gotta be honest with you. It just, oh god, it killed me, man. I didn't cry. I could give you 2 people right now, bro. Sean O'Malley. And I know that sounds so weird, but when he lost his 2nd championship, I cried, bro. And I cried when Usman knocked out fucking Masvidal, bro. That shit fucking, I cried, bro. That sucked to see, but anyways, Volkanovski lost. I didn't cry, but I still love Volkanovski. He's the man. But for Volkanovski, it's kind of like he cried a little bit during the post-fight press conference. He tried to keep himself from crying, but he almost, I'll give him credit, he did not cry, bro. He almost cried, all right? We'll say he almost cried. But, and I felt his pain, bro. I felt the pain right along with him, because that sucks, man, to get knocked out head kick. And but that's not what really sucks. What really sucks is that you were fucking so close the first time, And then the second time, maybe it was just a bad move to take that fight on short notice. You know, maybe it just was because it's Islam fucking Makhachev, bro. I mean, dude, and damn, we never see him head kick knockout somebody. So Islam came in and he was like, because here's the love story. Here's the second part of this love story. We've come to the point where Alex Volkanovski is in pain, all right, after this second loss. But Islam Makhachev, this is where a fire has been started in Islam Makhachev, and it's because of Volkanovski. There's the duo, you know, like these guys. There's something there, bro. And Volk got the short end of that stick, but damn it, you know, he did much more than anybody thought. Nobody thought the fight was gonna like end that way, with him fucking dropping Islam and just fucking going to town on him. You know, nobody saw that coming. But that's over now, because this is what it has ultimately led to. That head kick knockout. It lights a fire under Islam, and Islam head kicks Volk because he has to make a statement this time. He came in angry. He didn't really show it, but, you know, he probably took shit for that back home. You know, we never know. And he comes out, does that. But not only does that happen, this guy decides that he's gonna fight Arman Tsarukyan, and he's already planning to move up after this, you know, because something that, you know, when you allow a little guy to come up and kind of expose you in the first fight that you guys have, that lit a fire under Islam, I believe, and he had already made it up in his mind that he's gonna be the one that's going to go up and get that fucking second title. And he's gonna get it. He's not gonna fail like Volk almost didn't. He's gonna actually do it the first time, and he's gonna, you know, make a statement even more, because there's also Khabib being a part of this. You know, he wants to set himself apart from Khabib. He doesn't want to be just like, oh, Khabib did it and I did it too. Nobody ever likes to be in the shadow of somebody else, and that's what this is all about. Somebody trying to come in, and they have put their whole life into this, and they believe in themselves to be the best. You know, that pound for pound, true pound per pound fighter, best fighter in the world. And so Islam wants to go up and try to do that, because that's what that means. You live up to that. It doesn't mean that you allow Volkanovski to come up and expose you in the first fight. It means that you are the one to take the challenge of taking on the bigger man, and you are successful at it. And so he's about to really earn that pound for pound title. I believe that that's another video for another day, if I believe he's gonna do it or not. But this is the love story, because that's where, you know, of course, Islam comes in. He doesn't get Tsarukyan, but Tsarukyan pulls out another. And again, kudos to Islam, because his opponents, they like to fucking play the pullout game. And I don't know if that's, you know, a testament to the needed preparation that they believe they must have to take on Islam or for Islam. But hey, man, I'm just gonna give the kudos to Islam, because still at this point in time, he has never pulled out of a fight. So now we have Ilia Topuria waiting down there at 145, I believe it is. So he's about to take on Volk. But here's where the love continues, because Ilia Topuria, and I'm going to tell you right now, I already knew Ilia Topuria was going to beat Volkanovski. I knew that Ilia Topuria was going to be the featherweight champion from the first time I saw him fight. From the first fucking fight he ever had in the UFC that I saw him fight. And it was the guy who was like jumping around on the ground the whole fight. But it's not even because of the way he beat him. It's because I saw the way that this kid could strike. I saw the way that Ilia's boxing was, and I just knew that nobody fucking with this guy, man. Nobody, not even Volk. I already knew Volk couldn't, because I already knew Volk had this style to where he's gonna come in and he's gonna lay those punches on you, but it's gonna be in volume, and it's gonna be like, you know, Volk isn't known for his knockouts. You know, that's as much evidence as you need to support the difference between the two styles of striking that these guys have. But the thing about Ilia is that he kind of has this, he comes in and fucking, dude, he comes in like a fucking slow torpedo, bro. Like a slow looming torpedo. And he just like finds, like, he's just like, the red dot is coming, he's leaning in, he's like, you know, he's inching his way in, bro. He's fully shelled up. He's like a torpedo. He's a fucking armor. You can't really get to him. He's got this shell to where like he's coming for you and he's gonna land, dude. And he's a torpedo, bro. So once he lands, bro, it's lights out, dude. And I didn't think he was gonna. I'll give Volk that. I didn't think he was gonna knock Volkanovski out. I knew he was going to beat Volk. I love Volkanovski, bro, and I still, you know, I've loved Volk and I still do. And I didn't think he was gonna get knocked out, but that's when I knew that, damn, bro, I'm not surprised at all. I thought a little bit more of Volk than, but I always knew that it's probably, I didn't think it was going to happen in the second fucking round, basically. Like, I thought if it's going to happen, and I even have that prediction still up. I have the prediction Ilia Topuria by 5th round TKO, I believe. And I'll throw that in the video too, because I'm going to prove myself. I always knew this kid was going to be the champ. But that's where this love story takes a turn, because Volkanovski loses his belt at featherweight now. Not only did he lose out on the getting the accolade, bros, for getting that going up and, you know, proving the pound per pound to be true, and when you speak of his name, he failed, and then he came back down to his own neighborhood and he failed to remain king there. So now Volkanovski's going out very sad at this point. The thing is, he wants that rematch, and we know that he deserves the rematch, and he can't get the rematch. You want to know why? Because he needs to take some time off. I think that he knew that he needed to take some time off, and he was going to get the rematch. You know, it was coming. He wasn't going to be next, you know? And Ilia Topuria goes on to, of course, beat the hell out of everybody. I believe Max Holloway, and that's his only defense. And it's really strange, because even a stranger part of this love story is that Max Holloway is just going up to 155 and defeated Justin Gaethje and knocks him out. You know, given he knocks him out just by, I'm not going to say by chance, but it was pretty chaotic. I mean, that could have been either one of them, but it was Max, and we got to just call it for what it is. He knocked him out, and he comes down to featherweight to try to, you know, take out Ilia Topuria. And who knows if that was even the right thing for Max to do. I mean, I picked Max Holloway to win that fight, and for as long as it went, Max Holloway was doing what I thought he was going to do, and in my opinion, he was kind of winning. In my opinion, he really was winning that fight with Ilia until he got knocked out, you know. But Ilia was coming in closer and closer, and oh God, I wasn't surprised. That honestly, I was surprised when he knocked Max, but then again, I wasn't. Like, he just knocked out Charles Oliveira in the first round, and I'm just like, I'm not surprised, but then again, I kind of am, that it was the first fucking round. Like, Jesus, I thought that I thought that Charles could do a little more, but it's Ilia. Ilia's a fucking demon, dude. He's just, man, in my opinion, he's the pound for pound #1 fucking fighter in the world, and that's why I'm making this video. But there's this love affair, dude, between these guys hovering around 145 and 55, and I just find it fascinating, because they're all like running from one another, but not really. They're chasing something greater, you know, and that's the story they're all using. But is it the truth? Is that really what's going on here? We can't contest that, because we don't have the proof that says otherwise, you know. And what I mean by that is that Ilia Topuria, he makes one defense of his title at featherweight, and it's against Max Holloway, who's coming down from a big win up at lightweight. And then, you know, now Ilia Topuria is leaving featherweight to go up to lightweight, and he's already done that. He's beaten Charles Oliveira, but the champion, who was really at lightweight, was Islam Makhachev. But now Islam Makhachev has gone up to 170 at welterweight, and he's taken on a guy who 100% strikes better than him on the feet. And that is a fight that I absolutely can't wait for. But this is the love affair, dude. Volkanovski is stuck there now at featherweight. He can't get his get back. So we see him as the featherweight champ. In my eyes, I love Volk. He's the featherweight champ. He beat who he was supposed to beat, you know, in Diego Lopez, and he's the featherweight fucking champ again. But the champ was Ilia Topuria. But Ilia Topuria has decided to not stay at 145 and give Volk a rematch. And who nobody can really tell him that he has to. I mean, he beat him in the second round. I believe it was the second or the third. Don't quote me on that. But he knocked him out is how we remember that fight. So, and he's done it to every fucking buddy. And in my opinion, he'll do it again. Like, he'll knock Volkanovski 10 times out of 10 times. I'm not saying Ilia knocks him out every time, but I think that'll happen most of the time, and nobody will even want to see it go a third time. So, we don't give Ilia any shit for moving up if that's all he had waiting for him at featherweight. But now he's going up, and he was chasing Islam Makhachev. And dude, Ilia Topuria was not backing down. He was heading straight forward Islam Makhachev with no freaking bumps in the road, bro. Other than the fact that Islam Makhachev decides that he's going up to welterweight. And the thing is, now it doesn't matter that Ilia's the lightweight champion, because he needed to beat Islam Makhachev in order to really be the lightweight champion. He beat Charles Oliveira, and Charles Oliveira was previously the longest running lightweight champion, and damn it if that wasn't a run to remember. I would never forget nobody can ever forget Charles Oliveira's run during that 2022 to 24 period, early 24 period. Like, dude, this guy was fucked up, dude. He looked like he had the fucking power of God himself out there in that octagon. The way he knocked out Gaethje, bro. Just, man, the way he choked out Poirier. But the way that the fire that he went through in order to choke out Poirier is what I remember. And I'm just like, this guy is indestructible now. It's like they were saying, dude, he's gonna break. They kept saying that so much. That was the narrative with Oliveira, was that he's gonna break. And the thing is, he fucking took that and said, motherfucker, that is the one thing that I will never ever do now is break, because you said it's the thing that I'm definitely going to do. And I just love Oliveira for that. But back to the main plot of this story. The main plot and the purpose of this story was to tell you about how much these guys are connected more than they want to be, because they need to beat each other. Volkanovski needs to beat Ilia to be the featherweight champ. And Ilia needs to beat Makhachev to be the fucking lightweight champ. And Makhachev needs to defeat fucking Jack Della Maddalena to be the fucking welterweight champion. I can't wait to make a video about that, because right now, if you ask me, I'd say that Shevchenko's gonna beat her. But but then at the same time, if you ask me tomorrow, I'm gonna tell you Weili's gonna knock her out, and choke her out or whatever. Weili's gonna finish her. I could tell you Shevchenko's gonna beat Weili Zhang, but I can't tell you that she's gonna defeat her. I can tell you that she might be able to go toe to toe with her and win. But I can't. I can tell you if Zhang wins, I can tell you it's gonna be by finish. Because we saw what Shevchenko does when her title's on the line and everything's on the line. We saw the UFC sphere, and it wasn't really. I mean, she did her thing. It's kind of like Khamzat Chimaev did in his championship fight this past month. Nobody's really raving about the performance, but they did their thing, and congrats to them. But that's the number one fight on my list here. But Ilia Topuria, he needs to fight Arman Tsarukyan definitely. And nobody knows who everybody's waiting for his next fight. Like, more than anything, that's the number one fighter, and that should be your favorite fighter. Right now, we got Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. I almost forgot the guy's name, because, how many fucking title fights is he gonna get? And honestly, dude, I can't even make a prediction on that one just yet, because I don't think Tom Aspinall's gonna knock this guy out in the first round. Like he's done all. That's all I can say about that fight right now. Is I don't think he'll knock him out in the first round. But do I think who do I think is gonna win? I think Aspinall's gonna win. But I don't think he'll get him out of there in the first round, and that's where I love to be surprised by these UFC fights, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Is I want to see how long can they both go at heavyweight. And all Ciryl Gane has to do is make it out of the first round, and he will have already done better than everybody else. He definitely has more heart than John Jones, because he went up and took John Jones, and granted, it was pretty pathetic what we saw, But still, he's willing to fight both of these guys, and John Jones was only willing to fight one of them. So I'm already giving Cyril a lot more fucking balls than Jones, and I can't wait for this fight. Like, that's gonna be awesome. But what I want to do is wrap up this beautiful love story that's been happening down between these lower weight classes, because these are the most exciting guys. I mean, I follow all of these guys. They're like my favorites, and I want to see these love stories get tied up, because these guys are attached to one another no matter how far they run away from one another. Makhachev is still attached to Ilia because, dude, that guy came up and wanted to challenge you, and it looks like you ran away. Even though we're not going to say you did, because you did your job at 155, bro, but Ilia Topuria is not like all those other guys, man. You know, this was a different guy. Like, this was something that I just thought was, I'm not ready to just let this all go, because these guys gotta fight. I mean, like I was on to before I got off on that tangent. It's been so long that people are kind of letting it go. Us as UFC fans, we're kind of letting it go. But we still have our hands on the rope, but it's slipping like through the last cracks of our fingers, because we really wanted that Makhachev and Topuria fight, bro. But we got no choice but to let it go, because Makhachev is fighting Della Maddalena, and dude, that's not an easy task. He's a bigger guy, and he's a 100% better striker. That's what he does. He's like a kickboxer, I believe. I'm not sure. But Maddalena, dude, he's got his work cut out for him. You know, if Makhachev's doing it right, I suppose. I mean, he's made his way up to welterweight the right way. He's a big guy, and I believe that this decision has everything to do with that first Volkanovski fight, and that kind of ties everything back all around together, because that's how this entire storyline has come to what it is now. And it's a storyline that I'm very interested in, man. And I want to see how this all ties up, because it's just fascinating to watch these guys. But we got to give Volkanovski, I mean, Volkanovski is the reason for it, all of it. Because if he hadn't have gone up and tested Makhachev and did what he did, Makhachev wouldn't want to go up to test himself now to Maddalena. And Topuria, he's just like the little devil that's just running around like, dude, I'll fucking knock all these motherfuckers out. I don't give a fuck who it is, and I just fucking love him for that.